Hello, it's Lisa Turner here from Set Freedom. And I thought, given that we're in this time of having recently had the experience of the Queen dying, there's a lot of people who are talking about grief, a lot of people who are angry that other people are talking about grief. So I thought I'd just share some thoughts about how to heal grief and some of the processes that help and just some ways of thinking about grief differently. So here at Set Freedom, we work on the basis that there's only one emotion, and it's love. And that anytime we feel a negative emotion, it's actually resistance to love. So grief is typically a combination of sadness that we've lost someone we love, and sometimes there's some other emotion that's going on there as well. Sometimes there's anger because there's something, sometimes there's other negative emotions that are a sense of something that's incomplete. Maybe there was something that you wanted to say, something you wanted to hear from that loved one, and that's why you might feel something else like anger or hurt or rejection or some other, or even guilt, or there's lots of other emotions that you can also feel. So first of all, given that the Queen isn't, for most of us, someone that we knew personally, why are so many people grieving? So I think there's a couple of reasons for this. So one is it's a trigger. So what is a trigger? So a trigger is when an event in the present triggers unresolved emotions from the past. So, and one of the things I've seen a lot of people comment and say, it's like, they'll say things like, she was the same age as my mum. She's the same age as my grandmother. So the passing of the Queen triggers our own grief for somebody else we've lost. And maybe we didn't fully complete our grieving, or maybe we're just still sad because they're not here. And that's okay. So it can just be a trigger. And there's no just in that, but it can simply be a trigger. The other thing about the Queen is she's an unbelievably familiar figure. We would see the Queen probably most weeks on our television. She was the first monarch that really captured vision, television. And so we saw her all the time. Her coronation was one of the first live televised events. So for the last 70 years, we have seen her face, whether we've heard her voice or not. I mean, sometimes we have, obviously, and so we've seen her face regularly. So we feel we have some kind of a connection. And in fact, it's almost impossible if you know that that there's this person in your life, even if you don't know them personally, there is still a connection. There's still, in essence, a relationship that you have with them, even if it's only with the version of them that's in your mind. So that's one of the reasons we grieve. And in fact, this happens with many celebrities. When we have any much loved somebody that's been in the media, we feel like we have a personal relationship with them. So even if we don't know them personally, we still have a personal relationship with them, even if it's the version of them that's just the one that's in our own minds. So here's some thoughts on just how to help yourself if you are grieving, if this has triggered grief. So the first thing is just allow yourself to grieve. There's no need to feel any shame about your grief. Just feel what you feel. It's okay. And because I think sometimes at the moment, there's in this sort of our current culture, there's this kind of almost obsession with only feeling positive all the time. And the thing is, first of all, it's impossible. It's unrealistic. And that's not how our nervous systems are designed. Our nervous systems are designed so that we feel negative emotions to give us information. They tell us we're moving towards something we want or away from something we don't want. And this is something that we call the emotional response cycle. And one of the things that disrupts the cycle that installs trauma is when it isn't allowed to complete, because we are denying ourselves feeling those emotions. So avoid yourself future pain and trauma by allowing yourself to feel whatever the heck it is you feel right now. Now, I know there's also a lot of people who are feeling really angry, and they're angry at other people for grieving about this woman that you don't even know. And okay, feel that too. But my question for you is whatever you're feeling. So if we go back to, there's this idea that we have in SET, which is there's only one emotion, and it's love. And that anything we feel that's negative is resistance to love. So So a negative emotion is to tell us that, oh, we're moving towards something we don't want, or away from something that we do want. So that's like, it's letting us know that that's not loving. That's away from love. Now, when this gets installed as trauma in the nervous system, what happens is we have events from the past, which, as we think about them now, trigger those painful emotions. So the thing to do is to just ask yourself a few simple questions. So I mean, a great thing to do is to experience SET. And I will drop a link in the comment. In fact, if you head over to our website there, setfreedom, CETfreedom.com, we'll give you completely free access to our home study version of SET, our trauma recovery and emotional release process. Now, maybe you don't want to do that. That's okay. That's cool. It's free. Why would you not? I don't know, but some people are weird. That's okay too. We still love you. We're all a bit weird, right? So weird is the new normal. So what do you do if you, maybe you don't have access to SET? I mean, it's, just right in the moment. So the first thing you can do is just notice what you're feeling and describe the emotion. Now, you don't necessarily need to label it, and you don't need to understand it or analyze it, work out what's causing it. That can actually take you out of the feeling. Just allow yourself to feel it. And then one of the things you can do is you can ask yourself, what do I need to know or learn that will enable me to release this resistance to love? The other thing you can do is you can ask yourself, what is the message of this emotion? What is this emotion telling me? You don't need to understand it and analyze it in a kind of, well, this happened and that happened, this means that. Because those associations of meaning, the meaning that we apply to events is actually one of the ways that we install trauma. So you don't need to go and analyze it from the meaning perspective. Just, what's the message? What do I need to know? What is this telling me? And then the next question from that is to ask yourself, perhaps, what action do I need to take? What action do I need to stop taking? Or what different action? So what action do I need to change? What alternative action do I need to take that will enable me to no longer feel this emotion? Because sometimes if we think about negative emotions being resistance to love and our guidance system, they're just telling us do something different. So what is it that you need to do differently? What is it that you need to stop doing? Maybe it's just stop and pause. So those are a few thoughts on how you can support yourself through any period of grief, whether it's over the Queen, whether it's over anyone that you love and you perceive as somebody that you've lost. Remember, all emotions, there's only one emotion, and it's love. And anything we feel as a negative emotion is resistance to love. And grief is often a combination of sadness, the feeling that we have lost something that we love, and often some other emotion that's in there. Sometimes it's anger that we didn't get enough love while they were alive from them. Sometimes it's hurt that maybe, or rejection, that we tried to love them and it was rejected. And now that this person has passed, we can no longer express that. Now, there are ways we can do that, and that's one of the things we do in SET. And if that's something that's present for you, head over to setfreedom.com. And there's a little scorecard, little quiz you can take where you can assess your emotional resilience and how resilient you are at just handling current situations. And also on that website, you can find how there's a place there where you can access the SET process completely free to support you with any grief that you might be feeling, or anger. So I'll talk about anger again a little bit more, I think, in a future live or video, because I know a lot of people are feeling angry about the Queen, about the whole monarchy, about the royal family. It's like, how dare she have 5 castles? It's like, well, she doesn't now because she's dead. But there's still this, like, how dare she something, or how dare they? And there's this kind of fascination with it. So I'll talk about that in a future live. But for now, head over to Set Freedom to get yourself setfreedom.com to get yourself access to the SET process, and just allow yourself to feel whatever the heck it is you feel. Just allow yourself to feel that and ask yourself, what do I need to know? What's the message of this emotion? Alrighty. Huge, huge love to you. Stay safe, be brilliant, and bye for now. Bye.